Welcome to the Traditional Bow Hunting and Wilderness Podcast. This is Jason Samkoviak. When I take a second, I'm going to go through full detail on my Lineman belt. I've done other videos on this, but I guess I wasn't quite as detailed, and I get a lot of emails. Like literally, I've had over 100 emails and probably 30 phone calls on people asking about the components of this. And I know I did a post on Trad Gang about it and the leather wall and stuff like that, and then people took my idea and turned it into some of their own ideas and changing components, and now people are really confused on what to use, what not to use. So I'm going to tell you all about my Lineman belt in full detail, where to buy it, every single thing there is for it, so it makes it easier. First off, the ascender is where most of the questions come in. I use a Wild Country Ropeman #1, the original ascender. See the teeth profile on that cam right there? See how they're just like that, like a saw blade kind of style thing? This is a Ropeman #1. I'm going to say it again. This is the original Ropeman #1 ascender. The #2 has got a lot of like pointed teeth on this cam, and they will shred your rope. I would never use one. The #3 is too small, and actually I don't even believe that the #3 is in production again yet. It may be now, but it was pulled off for some recall stuff. But you want the Ropeman Ascender #1 is what you're after. That's what this unit is. And again, you can tell it because of that step style of a tooth that's on there. It's not hard on the ropes, not real aggressive, but it bites well, holds well, and it's not going to give you problems. So again, I'm going to say it once more, Ropeman Ascender #1 is what you want. Made by Wild Country, and I'll show you a link where you can buy these at. Now, carabiners are the other one. People say, what carabiners do you use? You can use any carabiner you want that's mountain climbing style. Now, I'm going to give you a few pointers on what I recommend. First off, this style, ultra lightweight. If you're looking for the lightest carabiner out there, this is definitely it. These Alpine style carabiners. The downside to them is that they have that little notch right here, and that notch will hook on your loops of your harness if you got a fabric type hook on there for them. So I don't like that style. This one, another great carabiner, cheap carabiner, works good, but it also has that notch. That notch will hook when you go to hook on and you go to unhook from there. You're going to snag on that notch. I like carabiners that are like this, that have the flat edge, and then you can see how it wraps over it and holds. See that lock? That's my favorite style of setup on there, because this style doesn't bite on there at all. I use one on each end of mine. I have this one you just saw on my end with my center unit, and I also have another, just a standard one like that on this side over here. Notice how wide these carabiners open, and you got this good gap in here to be able to fit that when you go to put that on your, I'll grab this one, I just dropped that one, but how you go to fit that over your buckle, how that gives you all that room in there to be able to fit that on there good. Whereas some of these, you get into like this one, you don't have as much. That one actually is not a good example. This one is. See how, look at how you don't have much room. You only got about a finger width in here to fit on and off. Not horrible. They work great. They're phenomenal. I've used them for a lot of years. This one, though, look at how much more room you have in there to be able to fit that on and off. So I like this style better. Locking or unlocking does not matter. Locking ones are great. I use a locking one on this side over here, and I like it. It's that way when I put it on, I just give that a click. It's locked. It will not come off. Like that with my thumb, it's ready. Hit it again with my thumb, a couple turns, locked, unlocked. So I like them on that side, which is always stays connected to me. The other side does not stay connected to me. I'm changing it all the time. Now, what you, as far as locking or unlocking, complete your preference. But for the ascender unit side, the carabiner that's going to go on here, and this is how it sets up on there, okay? Not upside down, not with the ascender up here. This is the position that you want that ascender on there. Down in the bottom of the throat of the carabiner is where you want that ascender at. Now, you can use one of these on there too, but see the shape of the bottom of this, how it's not quite so rounded? If you were to put this style in that ascender, it will definitely work. But what happens is that ascender will lay sideways all the time, and you got to like flip it back up to get it straight, because it wants to turn sideways to accommodate that flat spot that's in there. So going with a rounded shank carabiner for the ascender side is definitely a little bit of an advantage. It doesn't matter. I mean, again, I'm splitting hairs here, but this is just things that I found out over the years from using it that I like better, and I guess I should have been more detailed in that first video. But in my defense, that first video was also covering tethers and a bunch of information in a short amount of time. That's why I'm doing this one. This style here, not bad for the other end, for your tag end down here, which you're going to use down here on this end here, which is going to be used just to throw over. which you're going to use to, hook on this is the one you're going to put on and take off, put on, take off all the time, where the other end is going to stay on. So on this loop end, you can use any kind of carabiner you want. I still would highly recommend using one that has this style of a latch system, just so that it doesn't snag, where again, this style with this notch is going to hook on things and snag as you're trying to take it on and take it off. Just makes it a little slower and slows you down a little bit. The rope, 11 millimeter static line in this. I buy it in bulk, and so it was white when I got it. I dyed it with RIT dye. It's a dark brown RIT dye that I used on there. You buy that RIT dye at any Walmart or drugstore or anything like that. Again, RIT, RIT dye. That's what I'm using for that. Simple knots on there. They work like a champ. Overhand knot there. Little knot on the end to keep it. This is the one that's connected to there so that the ascender can't slide off. I know people have told me there's better knot systems out there. I'm sure there is, but this one's not going nowhere. You can't push that if you wanted to with that, so I'm not worried about it. Same with this setup. This overhand knot, it works like a champ. I'm not complaining about it. Now, as far as length of the rope for this whole entire thing, I would recommend buying 9 or 10 feet. Okay, this one here that I got is actually about 6.5 feet. Actually, as it stands, it's about 6 feet long from carabiner to carabiner. You got a double over on the knot here. You got a knot there, that kind of stuff. So I would recommend at least, depending on the size trees you're using, I would recommend 8 to 10 feet of rope to buy. Cut it if you need to cut it. Whatever you want to do, but that's basically that in a nutshell is my harness, or my alignment belt. It's not complicated. It's a very simple process. Now I'm going to take you over by a computer and kind of show you some of the, where you can buy this stuff. Show it to you right there, because that's the other one I get all the time. Where do you buy those components? Where do you buy those components? So I'm going to take you to the computer and show you. I'll be right back. Okay, as for the carabiners, I am on rei.com. Real simple here. You just go to there. You can see they have got a bunch of different options of carabiners on here. They got a couple pages full of them. Again, just look for some of the things that I just pointed out for you. See that round shank on this one right here? How it's kind of, I'm trying to hold it steady with the other hand. See how it's kind of rounded out right there? That's a good one to have for the ascender side. The open mouth styles are good. There's another good one. There's another good style to have for that round ascender side. Here's another one with that round shank on there. I'm going to switch hands here because that is getting kind of hard to hold that one steady. Where am I at with my mouse? Hang on here. Right there. But that one right there, that round shank style, is also a really good style to have for that. As you can see by these prices, they are not very expensive. $6, $7, $8, $10. So carabiners are not much money to have. These are, again, at rei.com. They got a couple pages of them. Pick one you like. See right there, rei.com. Real easy, sweet, quick, and fast. As far as the rope goes, again, rei.com. I'm looking at, this is what I bought. You can buy it by the foot. 85 cents a foot. This is current today. PMI Easy Bend Sport 11 millimeter static rope. That is the rope that I used. I would recommend about 8, 9, 10 feet of it at 85 cents a foot is all you got to do. So you order that and your carabiners there. REI does not sell the Wild Country Ropeman Ascender, so you have to go to a different one. So I go to backcountry.com. That's where I ended up buying this from. Backcountry.com. Wild Country Ropeman #1 Ascender unit. And you can see if you look at those teeth, that's the tooth design we want, okay? So there it is right there, 35 bucks. You can get them in a variety of different colors. That's what you're looking for. I will show you the difference here on the 2 and the 3. Let me find a Ropeman on here. Hang on. Let me see here. View all brand. Let's just go to Ascenders. See, here's Ropeman. There's that one. Here is the Ropeman #2, for example, right here, okay? I'm going to bring this up. This is the one you do not want. You do not want to get this one. Can I bring that bigger? Let's see here. Now, if I zoom in on this, wherever it went to, I don't know what's going on here. Let me just go this way. Now, if you look at those teeth, I don't know, you can see those pointed teeth in there. Those are bad. Those are not what you want. Those are going to shred your rope. They bite into your rope. I'm not interested in that. I want the Ropeman #1. So Ropeman #2, bad. Ropeman #1 is what you want. So we go back to that to show you again, just so there's no confusion. Hang on here. And see if it'll take me back that way. Right there, this is the one that you want. Ropeman Ascender Unit #1. That one with that style teeth, that shelf style tooth, that is what you're looking for. And this is, again, backcountry.com is where you can buy these from. They're 35 bucks. So now that shows you everything that we have that you need to build this absolute amazing lineman belt. It's the best system out there, but hopefully this video will give some clarification, make things easier for people, because the last thing I want is people buying stuff that they don't want, or buying the wrong components or any of that kind of stuff. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are modifying the system I came up with here on this, and changing this part and that part, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's great because it leads to all kinds of cool things. But for me personally, this system here, I've been using it for the last 12 years, and I love it. It's amazing. It took me, hundreds of dollars of components of testing this or buying that or trying this to try and come up with a system that ended up just as simple as this is like this. And it's an amazing setup, and it works like a champ. But this is the way to do. These are the components that I recommend. Anything else, anything different, any changes, any modifications, don't ask me about them because I don't know them and I can't help you with them. This is the components that I recommend for this lineman belt, and it's the best lineman belt ever made that I've ever seen before, and it's one of the most amazing things you can have, especially for your tree stand hunter. So wanted to kind of, like I said, so many emails, so many phone calls, so many inquiries on this, literally over 100 of them with people asking about these things. So I thought I'll break down and do an absolute single video that will show everything about this lineman belt. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back with more stuff soon. Thanks for watching. This is Jason Samkoviak with the Traditional Bow Hunting and Wilderness Podcast. Talk to you later. Bye.